Good morning, everyone. I survived the first day with 4 children. It was interesting. I had a great day. It was like, oh my gosh. So much to explore here. And yep, we spent most of the day outside and doing things. And I forgot the sunscreen for the children. I don't ever use sunscreen. I don't need it. I just dress appropriately when I'm out in the sun, more or less, and spend an appropriate time in the sun, so my skin just kind of, I guess, anyway. So, yeah, so today we have to do some things outside in the sun, because a couple of children have a little sunburn going. Not too bad, not too bad. It's not hurting them this morning or anything, so. But, oh my gosh, here I am, right? I didn't sleep well last night. I slept, but every time I woke up, I'm going, oh my gosh, how could you forget the sunscreen? Also, for children. I have 2 blonde-headed grandchildren, right? Oh my gosh, Daniela. Ugh. Felt so bad. Apologized to my little grandson this morning. I'm so sorry, because he forgot. I'm fine. It's not hurting. You know, so, but when one realizes, okay, oh dear me, what just happened? I could have prevented that, right? Then this is how we teach our children as well, right? Grandchildren, you apologize. Then they learn how to apologize properly as well. So then it amazes me on how good people just so often get the short end of the stick somehow, right? Yes? Not talking about myself. And I just thought on how here's Noah, right? Building this huge ship, right? And the people are just laughing at him. And all right, who had the last laugh, right? Kind of thing. Yet still, that what he had, the ridicule and the he had to go through is just awful, right? It's awful. And, you know, one can go through history again and find all kinds of really good people, you know, that just, and often from within their own community and how they were persecuted and judged for good things that they did. Jesus, it's not the Romans who put him on the cross. It was his own people chose to do so. And it's no different today. What true mother has to go through all with from within the community as well. It's to me, it's always the same. And I just wonder why. People working against good people in such an atrocious way. Dear me. I have no idea. So be it, right? Alright. Watched a little blurb this morning about modern art and why it's so bad. There's some good modern art. I remember going to a museum, a Van Gogh museum in the Netherlands, and there was another artist in there. I can't remember his name, and he drew kind of these mathematical paintings, and they had all these different squares with different colors, and it was primary colors, you could tell. He used primary colors to do all that. And maybe because it has to do with math, and how often do you actually see math depicted as a painting? And that was the first time I've seen paintings like this, and I stood in front of them and I was mesmerized. And one could call that modern art. This wasn't a flower or a portrait or some kind of a fantasy thing. Or it was literally just lines and different shapes and right. And then the primary colors that went here and there, and black and white was a part of it. I was mesmerized by every one of the paintings like that of this artist. I know this is kind of modern art, yet it had this quality to it that say, wow, this is really amazing. I really like that. Right? Yes. So there's some modern art that I have to say, again, if the artist puts his own inspiration of something into it, right, then one can see the beauty of that. But there's a lot of modern art out there. I'd say, what is that? What does that even mean? And even if you go and look at, say, something that's displayed in public, right? A little plaque that kind of explains what it is. And even then, it's like, what? What is that? It still doesn't make sense. So, and people pay hundreds of thousands of dollars for something like that. So a city has money for that kind of stuff. Right? But then you look around otherwise and you go, well, if you would have put that out there for people to use, keep the city more clean, fix up some things that look like that's been broken a long time. Why doesn't that get fixed up? Then, so, well, anyway, that's my take on all that. But it's there, so what? Yeah. Okay. I'm not sure if people just go with a trend and force themselves to say, oh, yeah, whatever. Yeah, so, where was I going with that? I can't remember. It's early. I didn't get too much sleep. Like, one could tell, right? And another day with the children, as I said, I did really good. Oh, then I went to a baby shower in the evening. Oh my gosh, a good friend is having her second baby. And I have to say, it was probably one of the most, I'd say the best baby shower I ever went to. And in the way it was just set up, it was in the backyard of her mom. And she had this beautiful wicker chair, right? Yes, everybody else had just regular chairs. That was hers and sitting in it. And then my youngest daughter did a henna, beautiful henna painting, drawing on her belly. And while she was doing that, suddenly we're watching. Some of us were watching, and somebody goes, "It's moving! The baby's moving!" Sure. Oh, it was so cute. The moments were just so sweet, and then there were all them other babies, 2 months old, 3 months old, 6 months old, and children everywhere, and running around, having fun. There was not one fight. There was nothing, and there must have been 20 children or more. And here, the first baby I came across, I said, okay, let me wash my hands real quick. Can I? And the mom was like, oh, yeah, you go right ahead. Yeah, I mean, all the moms were like that. It was like, oh, yeah, you go right ahead. So I got my baby fix. Yes. Oh, my gosh. And the most beautiful names. One of the little ones was named Mary. Another one was named Penelope. Oh, my gosh, just beautiful, beautiful little names all these children had. Names I could pronounce, that's always nice. and I, kind of course, here I'm sitting. Of course, I was talking too, but I'm listening to all the moms, and it's one of those things when you have, and they all had multiple children, and One mom was there, had 5 children. Oh my gosh. And they were beautiful children. Oh my gosh. And you could tell, yep, that's one of them. That's one of them. They all had, you could tell they all belonged together. They were siblings. And so when moms get together and they have things to say, right? Yes, yeah, that's one of the things with when you're a mom, you have more than one child, they're still young. Your focus is so, and you could tell their focus was just so on their children. The children are so well behaved, really, when it came down to it. And were inquisitive, and they were friendly, and they would come up to you and talk to you, and this, I mean, it was just, oh my gosh, every one of the moms in there. Yeah, there a couple of dads came a little later, but it was mainly just moms, right? Moms and grandmas and friends, women friends. And I was so impressed with all these young moms on, also what they were talking about is, of course, what, right, is about the children, this and that. And of course, we were at a baby shower, right? There's a mom will be giving birth soon, again. And so it's like this whole, it was such an amazing environment of birth, children, moms raising children, and their expertise in things, and just wonderful, and how invested they were in raising their children. Beautiful. It's just absolutely beautiful. Peace and harmony with these giving, absolutely 100% committed and dedicated young moms. Yes. And of course, there's a mom, there were 2 of my children there, one of my grandchildren. It was just, wow. And literally, I wasn't just sitting there, giving all this advice, this, that, nothing like that. I just listened to moms of today. What do they struggle with? What is there to, what do they figure out together? To give their children the best possible life today, of raising them. And as I said, all of the children, they played together. As I said, there was no fights. There was, I think, once or twice somebody fell down, little tears, and that was taken care of real quickly, and that was that, and just peace and harmony. And I think, as I said, it's like this, when children know that the parents are that invested, they feel that the love is so different for these children, that then when they come together, right, they can give that again. Yes, isn't that something? What did I say about the apologizing, right? Is that something I need to apologize to my grandson? Yes. Yes, and to my little granddaughter. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that Grocie just didn't think. Yeah? And apologize. Said, let's think about this together, right? Yeah, from now on. And that's how children learn properly. And when some mistake or something happens, that they can sincerely apologize as well, right? Yes? Not forced to, not made to. Right? That comes from their own self. Anyway, beautiful. Oh, and the other thing, I must have done something right, because I got there. I brought my own garden salad, everything from my garden, and the eggs I put in from our chickens. Yeah. Beautiful, wonderful. Ugh, best tasting salad, I have to say myself, okay? And people complimented me and said, that's the best salad. What did you put in there? Lots of love. Again, how do I grow my vegetables? And how do they give back? With good tasting yumminess, right? Yes, yeah. Anyway, but the food that was there, everything was my favorites. It was one of the, I looked at them going, oh yes, Oh my goodness. I can't believe that on one table, there is a spread of 100% nutritious, healthy, and all of my favorites. Everything was there that I could have hoped for. And even just one of those things would have been a wonderful thing for me to have. But there was multiples and multiples of, I mean, it was just a feast for my palate. I can't, I've never experienced this before. Where you go somewhere to a potluck and you're looking and you're going, I'm at a 5-star restaurant plus right now when it comes to how well it tasted, how it was cooked, the ingredients, nutritious, healthy, everything was just 100% wonderful, amazing, and my favorites. I told, uh, she's a friend of mine as well, the new mom's mom, the grandma, right? I told her that I have never have I come anywhere where you're going to eat together, people bring together, never. And she's like, really? I said, yes, I have to tell you. So anyway, what an amazing, oh my gosh, it was, that was like, this was like ointment on my heart. I'm not kidding. Ointment on my heart as a older person trying to give. You got to take care of the children. One has to. That should be your 100% commitment. Right? And here I'm being given this reward in a sense, or this happening where I'm being shown, look, it's happening. It is happening. It is happening in many different places around the world, in small pockets, where these wonderful, amazing parents exist with their amazing, wonderful children, right? Yes, and grandparents, and the friends around them, right? Yes. Beautiful gift I was given last night. Beautiful. Yes. So again, yes, continue. It's worth it. You're doing the right thing. Just don't get discouraged. Don't never give in. Never give up. Okay? Yes. Oh, I have to share this. I ended up talking to a almost 13-year-old boy, and again, I met his sister first. She's a little one. 3 years old maybe. Oh my gosh, this child was so friendly. I mean, she was so inquisitive, and she was just, I had my plate on my lap. She comes over, she says, I like that egg. And she just kind of grabbed it, and the mom went, she went and said to her, don't do that. You can't do that. You have to ask first. And she kind of gave mom this look, and I said, if it's all right with you. I said, she's so friendly. I said, this is not offensive to me or anything, or that she's rude, or this is just, it's a child. It sees some good food. I have no problem with that, I guess. Well, when they get older, mom's teaching the child just fine. This is a 3-year-old. What are you expecting from a 3-year-old? That it behaves better than a 50-year-old? Okay, I'm just saying. Anyway, so she loved the babies, and she was so gentle with them. And one other mom had a little bassinet on the grass with the baby in it, and she went over and she, so the mom of the baby showed her, said, just rub its belly like this. It likes it like that, and just that. And sure enough, that's all she did. She learned just like that. And that's all she did. She was so careful around the babies. And anyway, and she was all over the place. The energy this little one had, but not in a confused kind of way. Not like that at all. Very purposeful. She went from here to there. And always with something. Oh, there's something going on. There's some. Just. And this child, there was never cried. There was nothing. It's just like, it was just amazing. So her brother is the one I talked to, and I said, I'm a bit nosy and inquisitive. So do you mind if I ask you some questions? And you could tell. I mean, he came over and stood next to us. Right? He says, no, no. So I asked him some, and he's really into sports. He wants to get into the NBA and become an all-star. Yeah, yes. Well, hey. Yes, why not? So we talked a little bit, and I said, so how are your grades? So he says, yeah, well, B's and C's. And I looked at him and I go, now let me tell you something. I said, you got to have a balance there. So I have to tell you, honestly, B's and C's, that's not acceptable for if you want to become what you want to become. You have to have a balance there, and then people will notice you. And he's like, he listened to me, and I told him a few more things. And so I said, I said, you probably will never meet again, but I will remember you in my prayers. Right? So for you, you have someone here that remembers you and wants you to do better academically. So give it your all. If really that's your dream, what you want to do, right, in the sports and this, then you've got to balance that out, and you have to become better there. Right? So study. Right? And he's like listening, and he suddenly said, I hope you don't mind, just letting you know on how you truly, if you work that hard, then you will get to where you want to go. And he's like, wow, you are very wise. You're very wise. And oh, that's coming from a 13-year-old who went, almost. And he didn't mind getting the advice. He didn't mind an adult giving a good way for him to be able to look at, yes, this is. How do I show the best of myself? Just on one side? Or do I show the best of myself in an all-around kind of way? Right? Yes? Okay. Anyway, great. And he came back, for more conversation. We had, as I said, it was wonderful to talk to this young man, yes. Becoming a young man, right? Yes. And there too, because of the attitude that he had, was actually willing to receive, right? Guidance. And again, what does that tell you? Good upbringing. Yes. Okay. Well, let's get started here. I could go on and on and on. I had a day yesterday you guys wouldn't believe. And I physically survived it. Don't ask me how. But I did. I really did. We went, one last little thing. The one boy that I also take care of, we went down to the creek, and I could tell he was not. He was worried about getting into the water. It has a lot of rocks, this snap. But he wanted to, right? So I thought, I know what we're gonna do here. So I went in first. He didn't want to hold. He's too old to hold hands with someone. Okay, that's not cool. All right, no. And his older buddy was there too, and so I went in and I said, look, let's go over there together, okay? Because I need the help. So if I could have your shoulder and you just move kind of, and he's like, oh, okay. And suddenly he was fine. Not only that, on the way back, he's like, look, I'm going to go this way so that I can make a way for you, because this, oh, watch out over there, there's a rock. So suddenly there was, oh, I can feel a rock down here, so be careful right there. So he was leading now. Yes, and he overcame. Yeah, he didn't like the algae. I said, oh, that feels very, but he overcame because his desire to be there with everyone else was greater, right, than the fear or the ick or whatever that went along with being with everyone else. Yes, yeah. And again, how do we lead our children when things like this come up? By letting them suddenly lead you, right? Yes, and for example, this way, for them to gain the confidence. Then, yes, yeah. Oh, funniest thing was we found this trail too that someone must have gone through with the mower all over in the thicket down there, and it was nice to walk. Then suddenly you connected again to, and we walked into this little grove, and I'm looking around. Here goes my granddaughter. Says, Rosie, look. And she's up in a tree. Going, oh, yeah, look at you. And they couldn't go that high up, but it was fun for them. And I'm looking around. Suddenly I'm going, oh, all of them are in a tree. I wish I had a camera with me. It was so funny. Suddenly, 4 children all hanging in trees, It was so funny. Oh, so much fun. All right, we are in Deuteronomy 31. What a blessed day I had. Thank you, Heavenly Father. Thank you, Spirit World. With one little setback. The sunburn. Light sunburn, but sunburn. So we are in Super Chapter. Well, no, that was 3. Wouldn't that be 4? Oh, that is 4. Last actions and death of Moses. The commissioning of Joshua. Moses went and spoke to all Israel as follows. Today I am 120 years old and can no longer act as leader. Yahweh has told me you shall not cross this Jordan. Yahweh your God himself will lead you across. He himself will destroy and dispossess these nations confronting you. Joshua too will lead you across, as Yahweh has said. Yahweh will treat them as he has treated Sihon and Og, the Amorite kings, and their country. He destroyed them. Yahweh will put them at your mercy, and you will deal with them exactly as prescribed by the commandments which I have laid down for you. Be strong, stand firm, have no fear, do not be afraid of them, for Yahweh your God is going with you. He will not fail you or desert you. Moses then summoned Joshua, and in the presence of all Israel said to him, Be strong, stand firm. You will be the one to go with his people into the country which Yahweh has sworn to their ancestors that he would give them. You are to be the one who puts them into possession of it. Yahweh himself will lead you. He will be with you. He will not fail you or desert you. Have no fear. Do not be alarmed. It sounds like the same thing to me again. It's what it is. Okay. So what did I just say about that one boy who definitely had a bit of a fear of what's in that water, this, that, and wanted to, but yeah, okay, and here, I am, instead of, come on now, just let me lead you over there, I let him lead me, right? Yes, I didn't needed it, but he needed that. It's interesting on how one could look at this again, destruction of other people, and then you're gonna, so don't fear, you'll have, again, is this given really according to how God wanted his people to behave? I don't know. I wasn't there. It is written down as it is. The ritual reading of the law. Moses committed this law to writing and gave it to the priests, the sons of Levi, who carried the ark of Yahweh's covenant, and to all the elders of Israel. And Moses gave them this command. At the end of every 7 years, at the time fixed for the year of remission, at the Feast of Shelters, when all Israel assembles in the presence of Yahweh your God, in the place chosen by him, you must proclaim this law in the hearing of all Israel. Call the people together, men, women, children, and the foreigner residing with you, so that hearing it, they may learn to fear Yahweh your God, and keep and observe all the words of this law. Their children, who as yet do not know it, will hear it and learn to fear Yahweh your God all the time you live in the country which you are crossing the Jordan to possess. It is also forcefully done, isn't it? Everything sounds done forcefully. What did I just tell what I experienced yesterday at that baby shower? They called it something different, but I can't remember what it was. It sounds all so forceful. I can't find the love in it. I just can't. It's all just discipline and fear, and if you do, okay, but if you don't, it's all just like that. It's all written down just like that. How does God come across here? A good parent? What did I say? Just share on what I came across yesterday with all these young moms. By the way, the dads that later showed up, I'm telling you, one dad shows, I know them really well, okay? I've known them for many, 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 many years. And so the one dad, they were brothers, and the one dad, I had only the one girl yet, and he was also one who will become a daddy again. And here comes this little girl and sees daddy. Wow, it was like this instant. And they didn't even come in and say, hi, everybody, this or nothing. They came in very quietly, not kind of trying to not intrude because we were there. They were allowed to come, and say hello. So they came towards the end. And the other dad had the 5, and it was like, again, he just stood there real quiet, and it was almost as if the children knew daddy's here, right? And every one of them just started running up, dad, and just amazing. And the youngest one, who's just a few months old, but already crawling, it took that one the longest, but also it was just a few feet away. Suddenly realized daddy is there and started already. Right? Yeah, isn't that something? Now, do these dads rule their roost with fear and obedience in the way of if obedience is requested and required by fear, by instilling fear? What is this? Every time. That was the only way? Then again, what kind of a parent is God? What are we hearing here? Oh, people go with it without even thinking about it. What's not right with us? What isn't right? What did the Israelites and the leaders, in a way, circumvent to get where they wanted to go? They didn't walk through love and obedience and keeping the 10 Commandments, for example. They used force, wanted to use force. And in order for that to be okay, they made God into what? Just saying. That's what I hear. As I said, it's almost like I had to have that experience last night when I come across this again. To stay steadfast of, no, this was not God's direction. not in a way that we're hearing on what these directions were. Where's the love of God in all this? I'm not hearing it, seeing it. Well, that's the, no. If it was just, look, this is what you're going to do. That's it. Nope, nope. But you don't get to kill people for it. You're going to have to find another way. Learn from my loving ways, from my constant ways, because that is something that will attract people. What did I say? Good people always get the short end of the stick. And yet, Jesus is the most well-known man in the world. Nobody else has the longest run of followers. Right? Yes, most followers all around the world. Just saying. And why is that? Okay. Yahweh's instructions. Yahweh said to Moses, "And now the time is near when you must die. Summon Joshua and take your places at the tent of meeting, so that I can give him his orders." Moses and Joshua went and took their places at the tent of meeting, and Yahweh showed himself at the tent in a pillar of cloud. The pillar of cloud stood at the door of the tent. Yahweh said to Moses, "You will soon be sleeping with your ancestors, and this people is about to play the harlot by following the gods of the foreigners of the country, among whom they are going to live. They will desert me and break my covenant which I have made with them. That very day my anger will blaze against them. I shall desert them and hide my face from them. A host of disasters and misfortunes will overtake them to devour them. And when that day comes, they will say, 'If such disasters overtake me, surely Yahweh my God cannot be with me.' Yes, indeed, I shall hide my face that day on account of all the evil which they will have done by turning to other gods." How is that an instruction? Those are Yahweh's instructions? What instructions are those? Those are not instructions. They're like premonitions or something, right? But they're not instructions. What is that? I have no idea. Again. So another thing. He tells Moses, "You will be soon sleeping with your ancestors." Sleeping with your ancestors. What? As far as I know. And it may be, okay, that at times it was different. I don't know. Sometimes from times past, what I noticed is that on what is today overshadows what was yesterday or in the past. And the only way I can experience the world is in the here and now, not in the past. As I said, well, I wasn't there. I don't know. I can assume from what was left behind and kind of make a picture of it, this and that, but really when it comes down, I don't know. I wasn't there. I know how it is now here. And even here, and in the here and the now, I have to figure out a lot. Okay, is this working? Why do people act like that? I have no idea. I don't know. Again, just, and spirit world's kind of the same. I don't know how spirit world was like in 5,000 years ago, billions of years ago. I have no idea. All I know is from what it says in Genesis, right? Yes? But spirit world is there, from what I've experienced, there are growth periods going on there as well. Is it just with people? I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know. Because I don't know on how spirit world was like in the past. I do know what it is in the here and the now, right? With what I'm experiencing as a spirit. As a spirit. So, but are our surroundings changing according to certain things, right? That are just the way they are. Is it the same in spirit world? Right? That's how God designed everything. And God is the unchanging, right? Unchanging, all loving, right? Ultimate parent that has never changed, will never change. That's that. But when it comes to spirit world, you know, have their changes happen? I don't know. I am assuming, yeah, yes, but I don't know. So again, sleeping with your ancestors rather than reuniting with your ancestors, and then of course continue on with me. Work from behind the scenes kind of thing, trying to guide the people. Right? Yes, yeah. I don't know. But interesting. These are not Yahweh's instructions. These are not instructions. This is like I'm not sure what that is. Premonitions. It's going to get that bad. Also, when you have children as a parent, you are you going to assume immediately the worst? What did I say about the little girl coming up and I like that egg? And it just takes it. Some people would look at them. Where's the parent? Right? Yes, yes. I just looked at her. Oh, yeah. But when the mom said, "Hey, honey, you can't do that. You have to ask. Or here, come to mommy. I'll give you something to eat." And I said, "Well, if it's okay with you," I said, "I don't mind. This is not rude to me. She's 3 years old. Am I nuts? I'm getting upset at a 3-year-old or something." And I said, "Just saying." And the mom was just like, "Oh, thank you. Yeah, she's very friendly and outgoing and want to squash that." And the 3-year-old was saying, "Hey, put your hand on my plate. That's rude." Are you getting my drift here? Huh? So, would God really already automatically after Moses' death say, "Yeah, I know how this is going to go now afterwards, and most likely it's all going to go downhill." Right? Which parent thinks like that? Looking at their children and it's all going to go downhill now. Yeah. Who does that? But we believe God does that? Okay, all right. I don't know. The Song of Witnesses. Now write down the song for you to use. Teach it to the Israelites. Put it into their mouths, for it be a witness on my behalf against the Israelites, against Israel, whom I am bringing into the country, which I swore to his ancestors that I would give him, a country flowing with milk and honey, against Israel, who will eat to his heart's content and grow fat, and will then turn to other gods and serve them, despising me and breaking my covenant. When a host of disasters and misfortunes overtakes him, this song, like a witness, will give evidence against him, since his descendants will not have forgotten it. Yes, even today, before I have brought him to the country which I have promised him on oath, and I know that plans he has in mind. So that day Moses wrote out this song and taught it to the Israelites. To Joshua son of Nun, Yahweh gave this order: "Be strong and stand firm, for you are to be the one to bring the Israelites into the country which I have promised them on oath, and I myself shall be with you." Again, here this last part from God to Joshua: stand strong and firm. Strong, be strong and stand firm. Right? Yes? How's that mean? Stay committed 100%, no matter what. You stay committed, and I will be right where? Where's God? Behind you. Reminds you of what again? With the little boy that needed some guidance. Yes, he ended up guiding me though. Oh, he thought so. Right? Which then gave him the confidence. Uh-huh. All right. So, the last part here, yes, that is what we should regard as. And then go with what? A parental heart. Not the rest of the violence and I don't know what. Or the, already, well, I know you're going to turn away from God. I know you're going to do it. You paint the devil on the wall, most likely he will come. Okay. The law placed beside the ark. When Moses had completely finished writing the words of this law in a book, he gave this command to the Levites, who carried the ark of Yahweh's covenant. Take the book of this law and put it beside the ark of the covenant of Yahweh your God. Oh, it's the beginning of the Bible. Let it lie there as evidence against you. As evidence against you. Yeah, but there you go. For I know how rebellious and stiff-necked you are. If today, while I am still alive and with you, you rebel against Yahweh, how much more will you rebel against him after my death? Oh, this is Moses. This is Moses talking now. So Moses has himself experienced the discontent of the Israelites, right? The rebellious nature in everything, this and that. Must be, and if this is the last you're giving to your people before you pass away, man, how rough had his life? How rough was that life? And again, you see, now, where does the encouragement come from? Be strong and stand firm. Remember the other video, if you've watched it, about the woman that was so horrifically abused as a child. I'm listening to that video. It's like, it's hard to make it through the whole video. For me it was, but it did. I made myself listen. And I was just so, it's like, oh my gosh, this isn't today's world. Millions and millions of girls still are being abused like this. Unbelievable. Plus, women in the way they are being abused. Unbelievable. It's like, oh my gosh, there's just no... How can people do this? How is this possible? How is this even possible? And one could just come to the conclusion, it's not going to matter. This is just how people can do things like that to other people and have over thousands of years. This, not just atrocious stuff. Yet God's trying to teach us that don't do that. Just don't do that. Where's your heart? Where's your love? Where's your true love? Where's your just heart to mind? Where's your conscience when it comes to certain things? Taking care of things. Where's your commitment? Is it just about yourself? This, I mean, there is that. But Moses, in the end, he has then. So I'm thinking this way. Then I'm going to this baby shower, and I'm seeing, oh my gosh, this amazing group of people and children, parents, moms, dads, and children. I'm seeing this young, the next generation, and the next generation after that. I'm already seeing, and I'm going, oh my gosh, how wonderful. This is like manna for my heart, right? But at the end of his life, Moses didn't get that manna. Maybe he wasn't paying attention to God again. How are the instructions given? Moses just, what did Moses do before he started to lead his people out of Egypt? Killed a person. Hi guys. I have to finish up. Don't I? Oh, hi John.
Who are you talking to?
I'm making a Bible video right now.
What, who? For?
I put it on YouTube, and then whoever wants to listen to, I have one or two people listening. I'm not a big fancy person out there with that. I'm just doing it as a condition for the whole world. Do you know what I mean? So goodness flows around, right? And if people want to listen, then that's good. So let me finish up. I'm almost done, okay? All right? Good to see you this morning.
Bye.
Bye. Beautiful. All right, let's keep going here. So sad. On how he just he threw in the tie. If today, while I'm still alive and with you, you rebel against Yahweh, how much more will you rebel against him after my death? Israel assembles to hear the song. Gather all your tribal elders and scribes round me, so that I may be sure that they hear these words. So I call heaven and earth to witness against them. For I know that after my death you are certain to grow corrupt. You will leave the way which I have marked out for you. In the final days disaster will befall you for having done what is evil in Yahweh's eyes, for having provoked his anger by your behavior. In the hearing of the whole assembly of Israel, Moses then recited the words of the song to the end. be tomorrow. So again, to finish this up with, I've asked this question through reading through a lot of this. Man, is this all still in the beginning stages of this is possibly what still could happen with the Israelites, and so all the warnings, this, that, it hasn't really happened, and they're trying, this, but it sounds like to me in Moses' last days, he's looking, going, well, if you guys continue like this, then I'm gone, and I'm not there to tell you, don't do that. It's going to get even worse. And God won't be able to be with you. It's not going to happen. He can't. He's got to have a proper environment to exist with the people. And that is to keep, number one, the Ten Commandments. But what have they already done through what we've been reading? According to what we've been reading. Kill. Exterminate. One town after another. Killed everyone except for whom? The young girls. Yeah, you can have those for yourself. Okay, again, what is Moses expecting when he's giving these kind of instructions to his people, right, that supposedly are coming from God, which I do not believe that's true. That's what they have to do in order to get to that land of milk and honey, where that milk and honey flows. Right? What is Moses expecting? And what has he learned from having to kill this one person, having to kill that one, the Egyptian, and then suddenly things started moving? That was a positive thing in Moses' life. Did he regard that as a positive thing in his life? That then, this will also drive forward the rest of the people if they also just eradicate things out of their way. If it's in their way, just kill it. Get it out of the way. It's all unclean stuff. It's that, well, they believe in other gods. I don't know what. So it's okay. That's okay then to kill. And what has it been doing? All that killing babies. How do you sleep after killing a baby? Tell me that. Here, I'm having a hard time sleeping through the night or having a good night's sleep because I forgot the sunscreen yesterday. And 2 of my grandchildren have a little bit of a sunburn. And I'm feeling so guilty about that. How could I? Then what is it going to do to people when they kill babies, mothers, pregnant women? What are people expecting? So here's Moses suddenly realizing, I'm leaving a people behind that. How's this going to work? How are they going to truly follow God? Well, Moses, did you really truly follow God? Okay, just saying. Not saying that none of it is good or this or that. It's just I'm wondering. If you live with such mayhem, and then the slaughtering of animals, these constant offerings, this for everything, and which sounds a lot when you read it, maybe more spaced out, right, this, that, and not as occurring, and the within the people, if someone does something, the punishment for most of it is death. And more so, say, and the conjugal relationship of man and woman, and how often that comes up, right? On the problems right there, and again on how, as a woman, you get raped, and what happens to you? What if the rapist goes, no, I don't want her either. Okay, then what's his punishment? So he has to take her. He has to take her, or he's already taken her. But what about the woman? It's like, it's so weird. Instructions are so weird. The punishments are so odd. And I wonder if anybody, I'm sure everybody heard of the honor killings of women even when they're raped by their own family members. Then when they're kind of done with her, now we're going to do an honor killing. What is that, an honor killing? What is that? People, what is that? That's their religion. And it's still happening today. What is that? I have no idea how people fix that in their mind and live their lives as if they're doing the right thing. So here, as well, I have to say, is this really God's word that Moses is giving, that the Levites are giving, that Aaron was giving, trying to relate? Or was their own guilt, that their blood guilt, that they're carrying on their head, somehow like making everybody a part of it? Or at least united in that. It's not odd. What if the Israelites was, we're not killing all them people, we're not going to do that. Then we'll just stay here for right now. We'll see what we can do. Was there nobody there that said, no, I don't think, we have thou shalt not kill? That's just related to what? Shouldn't that relate? Isn't that an all encompassing rule everywhere? Again, what was the intelligence level of the people at that time? I have no idea. I wasn't there. But I'm here now. So, it is what it is, right? But I got a beautiful look into heaven on earth yesterday as well. In that little group of people. Moms, dads, and children. Yes. A reminder of what it should be. Yes. Has to be. Yes. And I didn't go home with, yeah, well, that's all going to go down the drain too eventually, this and that. Yes? No. I recognized it as this little open window where you get a glimpse of what God's world truly looks like. Yes, yeah. Yes, of course, we have that here too, right? But that was many. This was like a little tribe, right? This was a tribe of parents, 100% committed to, as a family, raising their children. Yes, 100%. The ideal. It exists. Pretty amazing to me. Wonderful to see. Yes. Maybe at that time, if Moses would have looked around, he would have found these little pockets in Israel as well, right? In his people that he was leading, and would have seen that the true guidance of God that he was also trying to give did exist within Israel. But it seems like he wasn't looking. Too busy instilling the fear of God rather than the love of God. Yes? Okay. That's all I have to share this morning. Yes, got children are ready to go. God's love and blessings always. May He protect you. I will talk to you all another time.